Now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken. And you heard it right there. The best show at 10:35 on Pittsburgh. You tuned in to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh sitting right next to none other than Gene Collier. We're taking your phone calls tonight. 412-575-2600 is the number, and we can start talking about the Penguins. They needed a win. They were desperate, losing 4 straight. They go into Philadelphia, who have won 8 straight games, and winners getting points in their last 10, 9-0-1. And Matt Murray, I think, Gene, maybe a little extra motivation going against a goalie that everyone's talking about, Carter Hart, winning 8 straight. Could have broke a rookie record today, best start ever. But, you know, Matt Murray stops 50 shots. He gave up one when Malkin lost his mind and took a match penalty there at the end. But, you know, what a performance by Matt Murray. The Pens might not win this game if it wasn't for him tonight.
Absolutely. I think no matter what you take away from this game, if you're a Penguins fan, it doesn't amount to much more than 50 shots. How do you give up 50 shots? That's going to be a problem. If any of that, any of the things that led to those 2 words recur for the Penguins, because that is just not acceptable in any way. Matt Murray with, you know, a great performance. I don't know whether Carter Hart had anything to do with it or not, but yeah, without him, they get beat 10-4.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby gets the first goal of the game. It seemed like it was going to set the tone. And then, you know, I guess once a goalie gets in a rhythm facing that many shots, he's either great or he's probably awful. So Matt Murray ended up being great tonight. The one thing I liked about this team is, you know, when they're on the cusp of just being out of the playoffs, they find something. They find that desperation that they need. You're right about giving up all these shots, though. And maybe Justin Schultz, who potentially could come back against Edmonton this week at home. Their next 3 games are at home. I would imagine Justin Schultz is going to play in one of those 3 games, and that should be a big boost to this defense.
Yeah, it should be. Of course, tonight, Olimata injured. That doesn't look like a short-term thing right now, so you have to factor that in. But, yeah, the Penguins with a chance to stabilize themselves now with 3 games at home, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. So kind of getting toward a critical stretch for them.
No question about that, Gene. You got to fight off teams like Carolina and Buffalo right now, which who would have thought that a while ago when they were playing pretty well. But, you know, things are so tight in the Metro, and right now the Pens are still holding on to that final spot in the Eastern Conference. And if the playoffs were to start today, they don't, but if they were, they'd be playing Tampa in the first round. And they got to get out of that final wild card spot. They got to move up, you know, further up in the standings in the Metro, which, you know, they're tied with Columbus. I think they'll pass them. But you have Washington, and the Islanders are playing pretty well right now, and both of those teams are also ahead of the Penguins.
Yeah, I guess one of the more impressive aspects of tonight's game was that just how desperate the Flyers were. They really, really needed that game. You know, they could have been 4 behind, now they're 8 behind. They're going to have to make some decisions in Philadelphia around the trade deadline. Are they in this or out tonight? It looked like they were on their way out.
Yeah, you even heard Bob Airey talk about how desperate the Flyers were, and this was a much-needed win for them as well, because that would have, you know, kind of got them into the playoff picture. But 8 games, 8 points, I guess you can make it up, but it's going to be tough because there's so many teams ahead of them fighting for that spot.
Yeah, there is a lot of hockey to play, but they're you know, they really needed this one. They didn't get it.
All right, we're going to be taking your phone calls about the Pens game tonight. How do you think Matt Murray looked? I mean, if this guy plays like this, the way he did tonight, the rest of the season, the Pens are going to be tough to beat. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. And spring training starting in Bradenton. The Pirates signed a guy that has friends in low places. Garth Brooks signs a 1-week contract with the Pirates. He's working out there. He has a foundation where he raised a ton of money, $100 million, and he'll be in Bradenton with the Pirates for a week. I'm going to be there starting Wednesday for a couple weeks, so hopefully you tune into KDKA and watch our coverage on KDKA, all Pirates related. And if you have a Pirates question and you want me to ask the Pirates or any of the people down there, just hit me up on Twitter at Richie Walsh. And you can hit me up on Twitter right now or hit Gene up or give us a call, 412-575-2600 is the number. Back in a couple minutes.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows.